Hi everyone, welcome. Welcome on YouTube, Facebook, Africa TV, and Kick. You notice I'm being really quiet, and I got my wireless mic right here. It's turned up all the way. I want you to take a look around. Let's go to the camera. You know, for Taiwan, this is incredibly quiet. Now, over there is the park where I have often live streamed from. But tonight, there's some Filipino ladies over there, and I don't want to bother them if I go over there. They think I'll have some kind of ungentlemanly intentions, which is not the case. I live stream from this place last year, and I actually used my Insta360, and I called it the creepiest place I have ever live streamed from. They've since cut the grass. The grass was like a meter high. It was like way up here, like behind me. Really creepy, nasty looking. They had a bunch of vines, you know, over the trellis. It's all been, they've all cut it back, and it's actually a nice little place. They've got some swings over here, and some of those little toys, you know, where kids play on. There's a spring, you know, that they'll sit on top of an animal or whatever. There's a spring on the bottom, and it goes like this. You guys have seen that. You know what I'm talking about. So anyway, I just wanted to come on tonight, say hi to everyone. It's been a while, and well, since Thursday, but I haven't had such a consistent, I would say, schedule of live streaming. Now I want to welcome those of you who are joining us from Kick, and what I've done is in this part of the upper part on this side of the video is dedicated to Kick chat, and then down below is going to be YouTube, Facebook, and Africa TV. So I want to say welcome. Now, everybody knows I'm a bike rider. I ride my bike at night. I've had this giant bike. It's made in Taiwan. One of the latest ones to be made in Taiwan before Giant shifted their production to China. I bought this bike in 2004. About a year ago, the derailleur disintegrated on me, and I had it fixed. But I've had very little maintenance on the thing. And but I did notice sometimes at night. I mean, I have a strong rear blinking red light, and I've got a really amazing front light. It's almost like a motor scooter. It's just that bright. And so, you know, when you're riding the bike and you're facing traffic or away from traffic is one thing, but your side is to traffic. If I'm wearing a dark shirt, I mean, the bike is dark blue, you can't see, so I decided to wrap it with an LED string, and as we say in Chinese, song song, or as tacky as that sounds, I want to show you what that looks like, because it actually, well, here it is. Do you think there's any way nobody would see that bike now? So, I think I can be seen now. And a couple of times in the last 2 days, when I was using, you know, I was riding the bike at night, it seemed like the cars were able to see me a lot better. And what I noticed is when I pull up to an intersection, because, you know, I mean, I'm riding up high, and the lights and stuff were actually down below, and I would have to kind of lean forward to see them. But I see on the sides, you know, the road is, you know, and the buildings and stuff, they're all being lit, so that's good. I thought that was really cool. Now, last night I went to my favorite Thai place and ordered some dishes. They were fantastic. But the boss was telling us that he's got this new cook, and not sure where she's from, but he has a tendency to hire chefs from Isan, which is the northeast part of Thailand. It's my favorite part of Thailand. Oh, I've been there so many times. It's amazing. And so he just like brought out these dishes, and as they say in Chinese, buyong chen, it's like free. It's amazing. Now, because I'm using Prism Live Studio, I'm going to show you what these dishes were. They're pretty amazing. So, excuse me. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm going to show you a whole bunch of stuff. Okay. I'll show you the boss too. And yeah. Now, one of the weird things about the iPhone is that sometimes when I have the phone horizontal, it doesn't register horizontal, but that's okay. All right, I started out yesterday. This is Taiwan style barbecue. Now, don't ask me, because I don't know, why these pictures always look like 4x3 in Prism, but they're 16x9. This is mushroom, and this has tapioca on it. Underneath you can see a little bit of the, you can see like some Taiwan sausage down below. Yeah. Anyway, this is the Thai place that I was at, and obviously I'm just sitting there showing the kind of ambiance. And this is an egg dish. Excuse me a second. Sorry. I have no idea why I got this congestion. This is an egg dish. And yeah, it was amazing. It has pork and green onion in it. And let's see. This is, this was an amazing beef dish. I mean, look at this thing. This is just, wow, look at that. With green onions and garlic and hot pepper, my goodness. This dish was a type of like kapow, you know, garlic and basil, hot pepper, and pork. Just phenomenal. And this was a soup. Of course, there's not much of it left, but it had lemongrass in it. And this was a pork-based soup. Lemongrass and basil, and just off the charts. Just amazing, phenomenal. All right, so this was us last night. And that's the boss in the black shirt. That's me with my thumb up. And that's, you know, that was us. That was us last night. And only men. This is a, come on. Sorry. It's giving me trouble. This is a Thai seafood salad. Their cold salad. And this was just off the charts with the shrimp and the calamari. You see the rings, and it's just, oh man. And anybody who's ever had this, hey, Jan, how you doing? Yeah, thank you. My dear Jan, thank you so much for joining. I'm kind of whispering because it's really quiet here tonight. You know, I wasn't even sure I was actually broadcasting because I didn't have anybody come in yet, which is kind of unusual. And then this dish, I don't know why, but this is where I was saying that the iPhone sometimes makes things sideways. But this was a beef soup. And this stuff was just, it was outrageous. It was so good. I just can't describe this. The flavor of this was just, oh, it was so aromatic. It was spicy, you know, it was hot. But it wasn't overwhelming by any means at all. So tonight, and again, it kind of, again, it kind of goofed up again where it didn't register. What I ordered tonight was, I said, that beef dish that you gave me last night, I want a beef dish now, like that, over rice. But you see those hot peppers with the seeds? Oh yeah. This is basically a sweat happening here. So yeah, I just see people coming in and Facebook and dropping off. I'm sorry if I'm boring you. Yeah, there's no hot woman to look at, so yeah, just not going to happen on my channel. But yeah, this food was just, oh. So tonight, sorry, I got to wait till it, yeah, there you go. So tonight we just went, and then this was tonight, what it looked like here, and this is an iPhone picture in the dark. I just don't know why these pictures look so strange, because they're supposed to be full like that. They're supposed to be 16 by 9, but they always look like they're 4:3 in prism. I gotta talk with Jake about that. It's very strange, and I don't know why that is, but anyway. So they had the lights on. That's what that is, kind of like a karaoke light up in the ceiling. You see that towards the top, and yeah. So that's what we were doing tonight, and it was a lot of fun. So that's what I was doing tonight, and I thought I would come here and just say hi to everyone, and trying to kind of, get back into the regular regular live streaming, but I've been so busy, and this album's taking a lot out of me. Now, tomorrow I'm going to finish it, but my wife is very sick. Phoenix and I are fine. I don't know why. My wife went to the doctor, and the doctor said it looks like COVID, but she doesn't have a fever, and the rapid test said she doesn't, so she's going to take another rapid test tomorrow, but she's got a bad sore throat, like really, really bad, and yeah, coughing and congestion, but not much you can do. And I don't have it, and Phoenix doesn't have it, so it's kind of weird, don't know why that happened. But my wife's been pushing really hard. She works hard. She's the accountant for a company, and May was tax month. I know in the United States April's tax month, but in Taiwan it's May, and so she was basically chained to the computer. So yeah, that's what's been going on, but listen how quiet this is. And let me show you. I'm just gonna go back over here and so this is super wide angle, but I'm gonna go on Unity. Super quiet tonight. And over here on the left, there's actually like people living here. So I'm at this table, and you see this trellis. This was overgrown last year. It was like crazy stuff hanging down, and because over here on the other side, there's another trellis, and we were walking through there. It was like the stuff was trying to grab you. It was like a bad movie, And then this is a walkway to somebody's door. You can't even see it. That's how dark it is over here. There is like one light right there on a post, and there's a street light over there. But that's about it. There really just isn't that much light. But I keep telling people how safe Taiwan is. I lived here for 20 years, and I never heard a woman scream. Can't say that about living in the U.S. About 2 weeks ago, I was in Jubei at UPS. I had some UPS business, and I went to UPS. And I saw outside a mother with 3 children. And the mother was a foreigner, apparently Caucasian, and so were her children. They didn't look like let me just say, they didn't look like they were born here. And so my wife said, what do you think's going on? I said, I don't know, but they don't look like they're in any kind of danger. But the kids were hanging around the car, looking underneath the car and stuff. So we went inside and did our business. And we came back out. We noticed that the tension had kind of ramped up a little bit, and the kids were a lot more anxious. And my wife said, what do you think's wrong? And I said, well, let me go over and see. But what I really liked was a couple of Taiwan men were walking down the road, and they saw this, and they saw these kids, and they saw this mother, so they all walked over to her. But the mother apparently couldn't speak Chinese. So she said to me, their ball rolled under the car. And so the Taiwan guys were looking at each other, and I told them what she said in Chinese. They're like, oh. So I'm a father. I did what any father would do. I dropped down to the road. I laid on my side, and I reached underneath the car, and I got their little ball. It was a little golf ball, a little kind of like the international fluorescent green. And I got these kids their ball. That's what any normal man would do, because that's what men do. And those Taiwan men were fully prepared to do that. They just didn't understand what she meant at first. And when I told them, I was like already in the process of going down in this, but they stayed around and they watched to make sure the outcome is okay. And when I gave the kids the ball, they were all smiles and stuff, and I said thank you to those men. What's going on in America is the emasculation of men and the eradication of gender roles which have served society very, very well for millennia. So now you have videos of women from America. Why don't men step up? I was on the subway and somebody was harassing me and no men stepped up, and now they want to cut men down. But these are the same women that will say, oh, you were staring at me at the gym. Well, you can't have it both ways. That's why I like living here. People are reasonable and they don't get upset about normal stuff. If you're a man and you see a woman with some tights and she has a very nice body shape and she's doing some exercises, you're going to look at her and go, wow, beautiful. And then you're going to go about your business. But just because you looked and acknowledged, that doesn't mean there's something wrong or that you've done anything untoward. And women do the same. But, you've seen plenty of YouTube videos where, a woman's gone to the gym with the express intent of catching some guy doing something that's staring at me, and then it backfires. What I love about Taiwan is they're not consumed with this crap. It's just normal stuff. And the truth is, women here want you to look at them, if anything. But the men are pretty manly. And they seem to understand their duties, and they seem to like their responsibility. They recognize that they have to make the money. If their wife wants to have a career, that's fine. And usually, I find a lot of Taiwan families where the wife has a career of her own, she saves 100% of the money that she makes from her career, just puts it away. Now, the interesting thing is, I'm just going to say this. I'm going to say what other people won't say, and I don't care, because you want to close my channel down? Go ahead. In Western countries, that would be an escape plan. The woman would at some point say, well, I don't need you anymore because I've got 50,000. Hey, Rob. Good to see you, bro. I got 50,000 bucks in the bank. I don't need your fat ugly persona anymore, right? But in Taiwan, you really don't see that. You'll see like a man that has a really good job. These people here, they make a lot of money. He makes enough money for the whole family, but the wife is kind of bored. And if the kids are in school, can't blame her. What's she going to do, sit around all day? So she has some kind of a job, and 100% of that money that she has, she puts in her bank account, and she makes her own investments, buying property or stocks or whatever, you know. But it's not an escape plan, because here in Taiwan, nobody believes in toxic masculinity. They just believe in masculinity. It's amazing. Yeah, so I don't know how I got in this topic. But there's something about living in Asia where things just make sense, you know. When I used to live in the States, things didn't make sense. And now, it's been 20 years, oh my goodness, and I look at what's going on. I look at this whole thing with the marketing, you know, Target, Bud Light. I was on, was it Heckle the other day? And somebody asked me, so how far away are you from the nearest Target? And I'm like, 6,000 miles. They don't have them here. Because they wanted to know what I thought about this controversy. And we don't have these kind of controversies here. Nobody's going to sell those kind of things here. It's really, you know, it's amazing. And I had a guy in Heckle. I'm going to mention this for a minute. He thought he was being cool. He thought he was being slick, but he actually made a total ass of himself. He said that he doesn't like Asian women because they don't do, and he referred to, he referred to a sex act. Okay, I believe that you can discuss anything in an elevated way. He said they don't do anal sex. Now he's trying to be cute and smart. But what he doesn't understand is that no Asian woman would be interested in a man that wants her to emulate homosexuality. So, yeah, okay. What's your problem? It's just weird. Everything here just makes sense. Like, for example, and Rob, you're a homeowner and you worked hard all your life. Wouldn't you find it amazing if you had a home loan with a 3% interest rate? 3% for 30 years? What do you think? That's normal here. This is a place where you can have a normal job, making a normal, you know, like medium income, and you can have a house, you can have a car, you can have children, you can educate them, you can feed them, clothe them, and it's not a strain. It's amazing. Now my friend Tony, who you guys have known, the friend of mine that owns a factory, he said that there was an interchange between Japan and Taiwan for people in the casting business, and the Japanese people came to Taiwan, and the Taiwanese hosted them, because for the average Taiwan person, to put somebody up in a hotel is very easy. So, yeah, you do. Double JS59. Okay, I'm taking off my glasses. Double JS59. Who are you again? I know I should recognize that YouTube username, but I don't, and it's bugging me, but you do hear a gecko. It's bugging me, and as soon as you tell me, I'm just going to go, I'm such an idiot, but I can't, because I can't put it with the name. I know who you are, and I'm sorry, but I'm not above admitting it. Ugh. So anyway, what we were talking about was just, how things make sense, but you can have just a normal job, you can have, and taxes are normal, and yeah, so it's easier to make it, actually. And I tell people that the American dream is alive and well, but it's in Asia. But what happens is now all the people in, all the women in the United States that are angry with men because they got their passports and they're going overseas looking for wives. And they all say the same thing. You can't handle a woman. What does that mean? Triple X rum. Hang on, hold on, okay, so I'm going to take a guess here. In Chinese, we would say, 你是印度人吗? Indu, okay. See, I'm like, I know, it's crazy. But anyway, I should probably stop talking about this because I'm going to get myself in trouble. But things in Asia just make so much more sense to me, and I feel like I don't know, if I had to move back to the States, I don't think I'd be able to relate. I don't think would be able to. I don't know. I just don't think I would fit in anymore, And I always kind of felt like I was an outsider there anyway, and I always felt like the system was against me, like the guy that disqualified me for my own unemployment just because he could, and his boss told him, hey, we're going to cut expenses. Okay, so we'll just cut some guy off from getting access to his own money. That kind of stuff. Those things have never happened to me here. In fact, people have bent over backwards to help me with trying to stay in Taiwan and obtain, permanent residence. So actually, the funny thing is, I was thinking today, really, literally today, how am I going to get some more old monk? I need to quit messing around, and I just need to import some cases of it. So that's pretty funny. I gotta find some more old monk. It has been, since I think, the last old monk that I had was the ones that you gave me. Yeah. And believe me, I tried to make them last, I tried to make them last. But old monk is so good. Rob, Coco, whom she left our group and we all really miss her, but we understand sometimes she likes to take a break. Hopefully she'll come back. But Coco tried the old monk, and so did Bernardo, remember? And so Rob, if you can find some old monk, remember I would never steer you wrong. Remember I steered you on to the Glendronach 10-year. Yeah, well, the old monk 7-year vatted rum. It's liquid candy, and that's the problem. Old monk ends up being like a lady's drink. And I used to love this back, in the old days when I would be drinking at bars. Some guy would order a drink and to be like, oh, this is really cool. It tastes like a lady's drink, which is a misnomer because many of the women that I know can drink just as good as any man. But what it was, that's just a polite way of saying it was a little sweeter and maybe you couldn't taste the alcohol. And that's the problem. And they would pound 3 or 4 of these down, and then they would get up to go to the restroom and fall on their face because, whoa, I didn't realize that I was drinking it. Same with like Long Island iced tea. First time my wife ever had a Long Island iced tea, gosh, this was years ago. I think this might have been either while we were still dating or like within a year of us first being married. I was at the Cowboy Bar and I said, I want to introduce you to a drink called the Long Island iced tea. She said, what's that? I said, well, you like iced tea, right? She said, yeah. I said, well, this is a combination of 7 different liquors, and they all taste like tea. She's like, oh, I want to try this. And she sipped it and she says, oh, this is great. And I said, okay, but be careful because there's 7 liquors in there. And she pounded it down because it tastes like iced tea. And she's like, I have another one. I said, be careful. Be very careful. And let's just say I ended up pretty much carrying her. No fault of her own. She got overcome by it, but yeah, that's how it is. Old Monk is one of those drinks. Had some friends over at my house, and Old Monk works really well with Sprite. Now, I don't like Sprite or cola because it's too sweet, but if I put just a dash of it, and I'll use soda water, I just put a dash for flavor. So I did that. I made my friends, husband and wife, I made them a cocktail with Old Monk, a splash of Sprite, and some soda water, and it tasted like butterscotch candy. Oh, unbelievable. So, I've been thinking, how can I get some more? So double my pal? What do you think? I know they say on the bottle, right? On the bottle, you read it. You know, it has the Indian province, you know, that it's from, and it says not for export. So how in the world? I mean, if I write to them or call them on the phone, you know, the Old Monk distillery, and I ask them, I don't know. So, oh yeah. But I'll tell you what, if you had the Old Monk, it would be butterscotch candy on, you know, with an afterburner, okay? Because it's going to go. But yeah, yeah, my good friend Ashish, when he left Taiwan and moved his family to Australia, he had 2 of the standard bottles, and then he had another one that was shaped like the monk. And I saw these things, and it was like a light from heaven open. I was like, oh, I was like, oh man, you gotta be kidding me. Wow. I regret, though, that I didn't get a chance to meet Ashish's parents. I was really looking forward to that, because Ashish told me his dad is a whiskey lover, and I was going to bring over the Glendronach and just enjoy that, but who knows. Maybe someday we can head to Australia. Jack Dalton has been threatening to do a concert with me, so we'll see. That's not bad, though. Let me ask you a question. Are you willing to try it and do a review and let me know? I know that the last thing I mentioned to you was the Glendronach 10, and that was $75, but $25 isn't bad. Locally, like how far away? You mean you can get that, like you could drive somewhere and get that? Is that what you're saying? You don't have to order it online? Ooh. Is that what you're saying? You can get it locally? Holy cow. That's pretty cool. I've never seen it. Of course, now I'm going to be honest with you. I never knew about it when I lived in the States, and I wasn't looking for it. But I was always like, I was always aware of what, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. But, well, like with whiskey, you just have a shot and you watch TV, and the shot lasts you all night. It's just for the aromatic part of it. So, you live in a place that has Old Monk less than 2 miles from you. You know, well, I'm guessing Beck would probably like it too, because I was talking about the ladies' drink thing. But Yeah. Wow. That's impressive. Well, if you decide to get it, please let me know what you think, because to me, I think Old Monk is one of the seven wonders of the liquid world. It's amazing. So, no, because this would be too expensive. No, I appreciate it. Now the thing is, right, I would have to make it worth it. Uh, I'd have to find a distributor. You know, I can actually, India is a lot closer here, so I just got to be able to contact them and do it. I got so many balls in the air, but every once in a while I stop and I think, oh man, I love some Old Monk, and then 20 minutes later I'm on to something else, you know. But yeah, oh man. The joke is, right, I'm going to tell you, if you knew how much Old Monk cost in India, it is ridiculous. It's been a while since I priced it, but in India, the price in Indian rupees, if I remember, it was something like $2.50 US or $3 for the 750 milliliter bottle. And I knew a woman here in Taiwan from India, and she used to ask me, why are Indian men so crazy about Old Monk? I said, you ever had it? She said, no. And I said, have a seat. She's like, this is great. I said, well, there you go. Now you know. So, yeah, I know you think Indian men are crazy, but in this particular case, no, they're absolutely right. So, yeah, there you go. But, yeah. Now, Rob, let me know if you decide to try it. That'd be good. I'd like to know what you think. But I would cut it personally with it has a tendency to be a little bit sweet, and I would personally cut it with soda just because I don't like the stuff that's sweet. And plus, you're not drinking it to get knackered. You're just drinking it for the flavor and, you know, sort of a mild relaxation, you know, from the alcohol. So yeah, you can cut it. That's one where you could, kind of standard. We got like, 1/3 rum and 2/3 soda. It would be really, really good, but I got to figure out how to get it. So Double JS, are you still with us? So yes, you are. Yeah, I know what you mean. Wow, that first comment disappeared so fast. Oh yes. I actually read that. And Rob, they like Double JS says, they never advertise. That's amazing. Think about that. A company that doesn't have to advertise. Whoa. But the 7-year vatted rum is just amazing. Now I've had the Old Monk Supreme, and I've had at least two. I think, I don't remember, maybe 3 types. But I'm going to be honest with you, I can't tell the difference. They're all amazing. I would just buy the cheapest one you can get, just the Old Monk 7-year vat. It's kind of in a squarish, fat kind of bottle with a neck on it, and it's got like the glass is, it's molded so it looks like it's cracked. Actually, it's this exact same bottle that Old Par, Old P-A-A-R, Old Par whiskey comes in. Old Par, it's the same exact bottle. Because when I saw Old Monk, I was like, wow, the bottle looks like Old Par. But it don't taste like Old Par. Old Par is pretty good. Back in the old days when I was doing gigs at the Da Shibu, the steakhouse, the boss, Peter Lowe, pretty cool guy, he told me that I can drink as much as I want. Yeah, It is. Yeah. That's the legendary bottle, right? And everybody knows it. And that's the thing. Except for the only other whiskey I've ever seen in the same bottle, like I said, is Old Parr. But you see it from across the room. You see the color. You know that ain't no Old Parr because it looks like motor oil. It's dark. But Peter, right? I was playing at his steakhouse. I was playing a gig there with Dan. Dan plays acoustic guitar, and I play electric guitar, and we were doing kind of a duo, and we called ourselves Van Klein. It's pretty funny. And Double JS knows about that. He's seen us. So the funny thing is, right, is Peter just gave me permission to drink whatever I wanted to drink. And so at the bar, where you, on the side, if you wanted to sit and eat on the side, over the top were all the bottles. And I would just grab a bottle and, soda and whatever, right? And I realized over a course of a couple of months, I drank his entire bottle of Old Parr. So, yeah, that was a cool name. And I actually have a Google album of all those pictures from way back when, from that place, and many of we used to play at Win-Wins. We played at a bunch of places, even in this neighborhood. So I walked in one day, and I just caught Peter. He was getting ready to leave, and I said, "Hey, Peter," I said, "What?" "I drank all your Old Parr," and he didn't say anything. So I pulled him back. I said, "So I bought you another one, man." I put up on the top. And so after that, he trusted me. That was good. See, faithful in little, faithful in large. Because the Thai place that I go to, right, I was there over a week ago, and I was paying my bill. And in Taiwan, we have 100 NT. We have coins up to 100, but then we have 100 NT, and we have 500 NT, and we have 1,000. So 100 NT is $3, and 500 is like $15, right? And 1,000 NT is $30. And so when they tell you that it's like, your bill is like 300 NT, but you only have 200 and you have 1,000, a lot of times people don't have change. So the boss lady looked at me. She didn't want to give me all her change. So I said, "I've got 200. I owed her 300. She says, "Just give me the 100 next time." So I saw her yesterday, and I walked up, had 100 NT in my hand, and she just looked at me, and then she goes, "Okay," and she took it, so she remembered. So yeah, all the people here trust me. Now, let me check something. I'm using the iPhone, which is a little bit different than Android, and I'm not sure how this is going to react. Yes. Okay, we didn't go anywhere. Okay, so this is what Rob sent me. Now I got a question. Could you hear my audio when we went away for a second? This is what Rob showed me, and this is true. Oops, sorry, I'm zooming the wrong thing. I want to zoom this. This is the one that has the Old Monk Supreme. Yes, Rob, this is the one I was talking about. It's shaped like a monk. But I gotta tell you something. The head is the cap. So you unscrew the head, and there is the bottle cap, inside. It's just a metal screw-on bottle cap. But I have a warning for those of you who don't know about this. That bottle cap can become detached from the plastic head. So never, ever, ever carry that bottle by the cap, by the head. Always grab the monk around the waist or the bottom of the bottle and allow me the dignity of just explaining that without asking me how I know. Sorry, I need to go down here just a... Okay, so just don't ask me how I know that. But yeah, so there you go. Man, oh man, that was something. So when I escaped out of Prism for a moment to go to Line to get that photo, could you guys hear my audio, or did it just completely shut down? Because I think the video froze, right? I'm gonna have to watch the replay. I know I'm asking you guys to do it like a technical, you know, review, but yeah, I'll just watch the replay and find out. But I'm actually enjoying this iPhone, so I froze. Okay, well that's good to know, because under Android it doesn't freeze. It just, what's funny is it goes into a little box up in the corner and it still runs. It doesn't kill it. So hey Patrick, how you doing, bro? Yeah, good to see you. All right, good to see you. Yeah, it with Android, if I leave Prism and I go to yeah, I'm back now, thank you. If I go to Prism, if I leave Prism and I go to someplace else, like we used to do this all the time, where people would send me pictures and I would see the notification on Android and I would just go to it, and Prism would, you know, turn into a little box up here in the corner. It would still run. Now apparently with iOS, I've heard people say that iOS can only run one app at a time. But I've also heard, but you know, YouTube does run in the background, and Heckle and some others do. But I think Prism still runs. It just freezes the video and it doesn't end the live stream. So okay, I guess we can still do that. Where people, because sometimes, you know, we used to do things where, and you know this, where Rob, I'd be like, okay, so where are you right now? Wherever you are, just send me a picture right now. And I remember, Rob, you sent me a picture. You're at the diner with the waitress, you know, that you see every time you go there, and just stuff like that. So that was cool. So Patrick, how you doing? Patrick, as you guys know, is the genius PhD computer scientist that has written an incredible mixing automation system for the Behringer consoles, and man, oh man, more than I ever could have imagined. And so the funny thing is, right, is I've been using it now since its inception, obviously, but we finally kind of got our first album out of the whole thing. What I mean by that is, credit-wise, we're my studio client, Paul Clark, from, oh, cool, Far Away. He's lucky he lives in France. He's got all this beautiful countryside and food and wine and stuff, so wow. But anyway, Paul Clark has finished an album, and I mixed it. And he actually has, on the back of his CD that he's releasing, he's put a graphic mixed by MJ Klein with X32 Reaper Automate, and which is the version of the automation program that I'm using that Patrick wrote. So that's like the first album that we have on the market that's actually got that. So, oh, 40 minutes north of Leon. I gotta look at all these places on the map. I gotta figure out where they are. I'm gonna try to go there. I'm gonna try to convince my wife to let me take her to France. Problem is, I can't speak any French. I end up sounding like okay, Rob, thank you. I end up sounding like Peter Sellers doing Inspector Clouseau. Oh, I want to ask you something, Patrick, because I asked my friends in Montreal, Patrick, I want to ask you something. As an actual born and bred French person, are you offended by Peter Sellers' depiction of a French policeman? You know, do you have a license for your Muki? I mean, I can't imagine anybody being offended by that, but you know, with today's sensibilities, it's crazy. And then, of course, he played an Indian in a movie called, okay, great, thank you so much. They are hilarious and quite true. Well, that's the thing, right? Every stereotype has some basis, right? But yeah, see, I asked my friends in Montreal, and I know it's not the same thing, right? Oh, fantastic. I know that the accent's different, and sometimes anyway. But I was in Quebec, and I asked my friends in Montreal, because they do speak French, and I said, do you find that offensive as a person who speaks French natively? And they said, they're like, heck no, I think it's funny as hell. I'm like, okay, so do I. But have you seen The Party? And Patrick, if you haven't, I have it on digital, and I will put it in Google Drive so you can watch it. The Party, he plays an Indian person, Harundi V. Bakshi. Have you seen that movie? 1968. It's Blake Edwards, the same producer that did the Pink Panther. He must have done it in between because he was always busy. But he plays an Indian person. And I did some research on Peter Sellers. Apparently, he was raised in India in his youth. And, of course, there was a British colony. And so he had Indian servants around all the time. And he was very familiar with the accent. And I got to tell you, he is Indian. He's unbelievable in that movie. And if you haven't seen it, got to let me know, because I will make it available for you to watch. That's another one that's just gonna, you're gonna spit your beer with that. It's crazy. And what I like about it is, there isn't a single swear word or anything untoward, or, but it's so wild and crazy for the 60s, and as bad or as crazy or outside or whatever you think it is. So thank you, Jan. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And fist bump to you. But no matter how wild and crazy you think it is, it just goes to another level. So it's going to be, okay. It's going to be classic. And which is funny, right? Because you're going to be watching him and going, well, this is Inspector Clouseau, and you're going to expect him to go, Kato, and, the whole thing with the fake French accent and stuff. No, he's got a fake Indian accent. But it's so dead on. And, like, there's one scene that I'll tell you. He's watching a guy and some lady playing pool, billiards, P-O-O-L, right? Pool. And, I had an Indian friend here in Huco, down the street from me, and I have many Indian friends, and Indian, English is very specific. And the way they phrase things is it's all about being very precise. And Peter Sellers is looking at this game, and he says, "Pardon me, sir, what do you call this game with the multicolored balls strategically distributed throughout the table?" That's a pretty accurate description. What do you call the game with the multicolored balls strategically distributed throughout the table? And he goes, pool. And Peter Sellers goes, pool? He goes, no, pool. He goes, oh, pool. And he says, well, it would be terrible if the game was called pool. And I gotta tell you, the attention to detail, I was wet. I almost wet my pants laughing just listening to him. So I'm in Thailand with my Indian friend, Shaman from Kolkata. And he got in an accident where he hit a car. and he like sheared the mirror off the side of the car, right? And he fell on the ground and he got hurt. And I turned around and I walked up to him and I said, are you okay? And he says, yes, but look at this thing that has happened. And I couldn't help it, but I busted out laughing. I'm like, what? If I was with an American guy, he would have been, so it would have been beep, it would beep, 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 beep. It's like, look at this thing that has happened. I'm like, yes, very unfortunate indeed. It's like, it's hilarious, but that's how he spoke. It was amazing. It was funny. Yeah, I'll put that in it. When I go back home, I'm going to put that in the Google Drive, and I'm going to send you a link to that, okay, bro? You're going to love that. So, but, oh, the Inspector Clouseau. And the funny thing is the first version came out, he didn't have such a strong accent. He had more kind of a British-leaning accent, right? But later on, I mean, he really poured it on so thick. And it was just, oh, it's unbelievable. And they don't make stuff like that anymore. I'm sorry. And, you know, nothing against Steve Martin, but the remake just, nope, sorry. Just can't do it. Some movies can't remake. That's why nobody's remade Forbidden Planet. They remade The Day the Earth Stood Still. And I like Keanu Reeves a lot, but it was, no. Sorry. The Magnificent Seven. I really like Denzel Washington, and I like the whole premise, but I've got the original with I've got the original, right, with Yul Brynner. I mean, a Mongolian guy from New York. Are you kidding me? But yeah, I mean, just some things you just can't do. Same with songs. Some of the songs you hear the remakes, and I do like different genres and mixing genres. And what I like about some Thai songs, they'll come out with a heavy rock song, and then they'll come out a year later with a slow version of it. It's all orchestrated. They're in front of a large orchestra. They're doing kind of an operatic version. I like that. But sometimes it's just a cheap, ear candy, hip hop kind of remake of a song that just didn't need to be remade. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call it an evening. Local time is 1:17 in the morning. I'm going to stop by the 7-Eleven on the way back, and I'll probably watch some Curiosity TV. But I will definitely upload that for you, Patrick, and I'm looking forward to getting some of the map data from you. It'd be really cool. Thank you so much. I'm going to say, how do you say? Dhanyavad, I think is the correct word for that. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. And you guys take care, and we'll see you sometime later in the week, now that everything seems to be stabilized and working. And we're also live on kick.com, which is kind of interesting, but yet sort of a weird platform. You can absolutely get yourself in trouble on that platform with some of the content, but it's better than Twitch, I think. So they will be. He's physically pressing a physical CD, and he's going to upload, and he's going to copyright the entire work as one album, and he's going to upload the entire album to DistroKid, so it'll be on all the platforms. But he's also selecting singles to release as, individual songs. So yeah, and they're all going to have that artwork associated with it, with the logo. So it's going to be great. So it's going to be fantastic. Thank you so much. Yeah, you too. I appreciate it. You take care. So yeah, that's gonna make a little bit of a difference, I think, with the footprint. So But I mean, we weren't looking to get rich off of it, but we do recognize it is a superior way to operate, and you can get some amazing and incredible results rather than trying to mix, with the mouse or using the console as a control surface, which is a big waste. Because if you ask me, for that amount of money, you could put a couple of X touches together and spend the money on the monitoring or something. You want to do that, but all right, thank you so much, and fist bump to everybody. And let me do this. I'm going to turn the camera off, and my daughter Phoenix would like to say to everyone, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Guys, take care. We're going to say Zaijian, Wan An from Taiwan. You guys take care. Have a good evening. Love you all. Bye-bye.